car door shut itself. God.
She was giddy, she laughed, she cracked jokes. I mean, she's reenacting the gruesome shootings of her 3 children. She doesn't seem at all upset.
One of the things that I think, at least have made the observation that has, over time, been really powerful. Everyone will know New Zealanders are quiet fans of rugby. We keep our sporting obsession quite low-key. But of course, there's attached to rugby a particular culture. One of our very famous rugby players in New Zealand became part of a campaign talking openly about mental health issues.
Mm-hmm. Danny cried the whole way. I could hear him softly just moaning, and Christy was dying. God, all the blood, all the pain.
Emotionally, she was flat.
I kept trying to tell
detached.
her to roll over so she wouldn't choke on the blood, and it didn't dawn on me at the time that the blood was coming from her lungs.
Her behavior was not anything that you would expect.
I think, unfortunately, one of the sad facts for New Zealand is that everyone knows someone who has taken their own life. Everyone knows someone who has taken their own life. Now, we're a small country, less than 5 million people, but last year, over 600 people committed suicide. Small country, less than 5 million people, but last year, small country, less than 5 million people, but last year, over 600 people committed suicide.
When I go to bed, I cry at night. Even now, I still cry. I dream about Cheryl. But at night, when I close my eyes, I can see Christy reaching her hand out to me while I'm driving, and the blood just keep coming out of her mouth. And that, maybe it'll fade too with time, but I don't think so. That haunts me the most.
And you saw in the video reel it played, 1 in 4 people in their lifetime will experience a mental health issue. And so for us, this is something that affects everyone, because either you have someone in your family who may be affected, a friend, or you yourself. And so they say in politics, everything is personal. They say in politics, everything is personal. And for me, the issue of mental health was deeply personal.
And I stood there and I looked at Christy reaching, and the blood that just kept gushing out of her mouth. What do you do?
I've lost friends. I've lost friends. I've lost friends, and I wouldn't have to look far in my cabinet to find others who have as well. So for us, it's a moral issue. Equally, it's an economic issue as well. When you have so many people affected by mental health, of course, that affects your productivity, and there's good reason why business should be taking this on, for both that moral imperative but that economic imperative as well. So for both reasons, 5% loss to GDP, but also the moral reason, it's a real priority for us.
We saw pictures of this so-called spatter. It's drops. When they took the kids, they took Chris and Cher out of the driver's side of the car, and it's blood droplets.
At least at home, we know that 3 out of 4 of people who will experience mental health issues will first experience them when they're under the age of 25.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody says you sure were lucky. Well, I don't feel very lucky. I couldn't tie my damn shoes for about 2 months. It is very painful. It is still painful.
Unfortunately, that's a consequence of those staggering statistics. Probably when people think of New Zealand, they don't think that we would have one of the highest rates of youth suicide in the OECD. It's not a natural connection that you would make. But the fact that we talk about it doesn't mean the stigma is gone.
No.
It doesn't mean the stigma is gone.
No.
How? How? How?
We Everyone knows someone who has taken their own life.